The forest was silent, but not in a natural way. It was the kind of silence that pressed against the chest, that swallowed every human sound and amplified every faint crack. The Rocky Mountains awoke under a heavy mist, the trees stretching like spectral figures. Jackson adjusted his backpack and checked his gear: trail cameras, high-power flashlights, and audio recorders. Each tool felt like a flimsy defense against whatever he believed lurked in the shadows. They followed a nearly invisible trail covered in wet leaves and mud. Each step released the scent of damp earth mixed with something else, an animal stench, thick and foreign, belonging to no bear or deer in those woods. Suddenly, Jackson froze. In front of them, enormous footprints sank deep into the mud. Too large for a human, too human-like for a bear. The ground seemed to swallow their own footsteps. No smaller prints, no other signs. Whatever left those tracks had walked alone, silent, heavy, unseen. Then the wind carried a sound that made everyone hold their breath, a deep whisper, long and drawn out, as if someone were breathing just behind a tree, but no one was there. The group tensed. Jackson lifted his recorder, and amid the creaking of branches came a guttural roar, deep and ancient, that made the ground tremble beneath their boots. It wasn't an animal's roar. It carried intelligence, intent, and the terrifying feeling that something was watching them. They set up a trail camera near a moss-covered clearing. While doing so, something massive and dark moved between the trees, a colossal shape, slow but purposeful, gliding through the trees with disturbing grace. The forest groaned under its weight, yet no ordinary noise came from it, as if the woods themselves acknowledged its presence. Each footprint they followed would vanish suddenly, only to reappear farther ahead, as though the creature was leading them on or mocking them. Later, Jackson found what looked like a makeshift nest, branches woven together, scattered with what seemed to be small bones. Fear became tangible. Every breath blended with the forest's rhythm. Heavy footsteps, slow breathing, none of it human or animal. That night, the woods came alive with muted growls, snapping twigs, and a freezing exhale brushing against their tent. Before closing his eyes, Jackson glanced toward the tree line and froze. The enormous shadow was there, moving between the trunks, slow and deliberate. For an instant, he knew with absolute certainty that the creature was studying them, waiting for the right moment to approach. The fear was no longer just in his mind. It was real, pulsing alongside his heartbeat, a reminder that the Rocky Mountains kept secrets no human should disturb. That night, the whisper of the pines never ceased, and Jackson knew, with chilling certainty, that the hunt had only just begun.
My name is Eli Thompson, a park ranger in the Rocky Mountains for over 10 years. I've seen fires, avalanches, wild animals, but nothing prepared me for what happened that night. I remember patrolling a remote trail, my flashlight cutting through the mist, lighting barely a few feet ahead. The fog was thick, and the forest had swallowed every sound except the crunch of my boots on damp leaves. At first, I thought the noises were deer or coyotes, but something didn't fit. The footsteps were too heavy, too deliberate for any known animal. My instincts screamed that I wasn't alone. Then I saw it. At first, just movement between the trees, a massive shadow, too tall to be human. My eyes took a moment to focus, and when they did, my muscles locked. Bigfoot was there, watching me, studying every move I made with chilling precision. I tried to back away slowly, keeping calm, speaking softly so as not to provoke it. It didn't matter. The creature began to move, not running, but gliding through the trees with a speed and silence that defied reason. Every branch that snapped, every stone that rolled under its weight reminded me that I was the prey, not the patrolman. My flashlight trembled in my hand, catching brief flashes of dark fur that melted into the night. I ran through the forest, trying to call the base on my radio, but the signal was dead. Bigfoot followed, effortless, always hidden between shadow and fog. My breathing grew ragged. Every inhale was a reminder that it could reach me at any moment. I tried hiding behind a fallen log, but I heard it breaking branches nearby, circling, closing in. Then I felt a light touch on my shoulder, a reminder of its immense strength. It wasn't an attack meant to kill or hunt. It felt like a warning, a show of dominance. For what felt like endless minutes, I stayed frozen, watching as the creature studied me with deep, intelligent eyes. The weak beam of my flashlight caught just enough of a reflection to reveal a terrifying truth. This was no mere animal. It was something that understood the forest better than any man ever could. Finally, Bigfoot withdrew, disappearing into the fog, leaving behind a silence so thick it rang in my ears. I walked back to base, trembling, unable to explain what had happened. Every patrol since then reminds me that I'm not the hunter here. I'm the prey. And in the Rocky Mountains, there are secrets no ranger should ever try to uncover.
Carter had come to the Rocky Mountains with more courage than preparation. An amateur hunter and paranormal enthusiast, he had spent years hearing stories about Bigfoot in the region, and now he was determined to have his first encounter. Night was falling fast, and the forest turned into a labyrinth of shadows and whispers. The temperature dropped, and Carter's breath turned to mist as he moved through the towering trees. With only a flashlight and a pellet rifle, Carter followed fresh tracks barely visible in the damp soil. Each step echoed mockingly around him. Branches creaked in strange rhythms, and the sounds of the forest mingled with a distant growl that made him freeze. Fear took hold, but so did excitement. He couldn't turn back now. Reaching a small clearing, Carter saw what he hadn't dared hope for: enormous footprints sunken deep into the mud, each the size of his torso. His heart pounded as he tried to stay quiet, raising his flashlight slowly. From between the trees, movement. Two glowing eyes reflected the light, fixed on him. Bigfoot was there, larger than he had ever imagined, its deep, rhythmic breaths echoing through the woods like a funeral drum. Trying to stay calm, Carter lifted his rifle and aimed, but the creature moved with supernatural speed, dodging the beam and vanishing into the shadows. Carter followed, leaping over fallen logs, crawling beneath low branches, feeling eyes on him from every direction. Every snap of a twig was a warning, every shadow a threat. At one point, he reached a narrow creek and leaned down to study the tracks, only to see in the rippling water a reflection that froze his blood. Across the stream, the creature stood motionless, but its presence filled the clearing entirely. A deep, guttural roar shattered the silence, echoing through the mountains. Terror consumed him, yet adrenaline anchored him in place. For hours, the hunt continued, Carter chasing, Bigfoot watching, always one step ahead. The creature seemed to anticipate his every move, slipping into darkness he couldn't penetrate. Carter set up makeshift recorders, desperate to capture proof, but the only sounds they caught were heavy footsteps and slow, chilling breaths. By dawn, exhausted, muddy, and broken, Carter sat on a fallen log, his hands shaking. He hadn't trapped or even seen Bigfoot clearly, but he knew something had been there, something real, intelligent, and terrifying. Every whisper of the wind, every flicker between the trees reminded him that he had trespassed into a world that didn't belong to men. The hunt had been more horrifying than he had ever imagined, and the creature far more cunning and powerful than any legend could describe.
My name is Ayan Ka, son of the Ute people. I was born among the high valleys of the Rocky Mountains, where the pines grow so old they seem to remember the footsteps of our ancestors. My grandfather used to tell stories about a spirit of the forest, a creature that protected the wild and punished those who defied it. He said its whistle could be heard before someone disappeared. I never believed those stories until that night. Tawa Ita, my best friend, and I had gone to patrol the most remote areas of the valley, where white hunters rarely ventured. We wanted to prove our bravery, to show we were worthy of inheriting the lands of our elders. The air was cold, and the forest was blanketed in a thick fog that swallowed all sound. Even the owls were silent that night. We found the footprints just before dusk. They were enormous, so deep the mud still trembled at their edges. They were neither man's nor bear's. Something heavy and deliberate had passed through. Tawa knelt to measure one with his hand, and I saw the color drain from his face. "We shouldn't keep going," I said. "If this is what I think it is, we need to see it," he replied, his voice steady, though his eyes wavered. We followed the trail through blackened trunks and twisted shrubs. The fog thickened until we could barely see each other. Then came the first whistle. Long, low, almost human, but too deep. The sound came from above, from the trees. A chill ran down my spine. Tawa raised his lantern, and in that instant we saw it. A massive figure, covered in dark, matted hair, moved between the trees. It stood over 7 feet tall, its shoulders as wide as a cabin door. Its eyes glowed amber through the mist. It watched us calmly, as if choosing between us. Tawa took a step back, and the creature moved. In a blink, it crossed the distance between us. Its arm, thick as a tree trunk, grabbed Tawa in a single motion. My friend barely had time to shout my name before the monster lifted him into the air and vanished among the pines. I ran after them, stumbling, screaming his name until my voice broke. Only the echo of my steps and that haunting whistle remained, fading deeper into the forest, as if the mountain itself were swallowing the sound. I searched all night. I found Tawa's rifle, his broken lantern, and disturbed earth, but nothing else. No blood, no body, no trail beyond the stream. It was as if the mountain had devoured him whole. I returned alone at dawn. The elders fell silent when I told them what happened. They didn't ask, they didn't doubt. They simply drew a circle with ash and said, "The whistler has taken what it was owed." Since that night, every time fog cloaks the forest and the wind sighs through the pines, I swear I hear that whistle again, moving among the trees. I never saw Tawa Ita again, and deep down, I know the spirit of the forest still walks, watching, waiting for the next soul foolish enough to enter its forbidden domain.